What's up, y'all? Marcus Frazier from Teachable Tuesdays here to motivate you, encourage you, and inspire you to be a better you. Thank you for joining me today. Greatly appreciate it. As always, if you could, hit that subscribe button and that like button. Make sure you stay up to date with all of your notifications, or should I say my notifications, for Teachable Tuesdays content and videos. And without further ado, we're going to go ahead and get ready for our new series. So, yes, we just concluded the Love series last week. It was an awesome series. If you missed any of the videos, make sure you go back and check that out. But now we're going to enter into something new. This is going to be a very short series. This series is actually going to be called the Restart of Life series. And this is kind of a continuation of the series that I did back in January. Mentioned how I was talking to you guys about New Year's Eve or New Year's Day, and really how New Year's is not the actual start of an actual beginning, because winter is still going on. You're still dealing with hibernation and whatnot, meaning things are resting, but it is officially spring. And now that it's officially spring, I felt like, you know what? It's a good idea to talk about, the restart of life, the renewal of life, however you want to title it. What does that mean for your life? And how can you essentially start over with being a better you, being more effective, being more proactive, productive, and things of that sort. All right. So this is going to be a series that's going to be carrying over for the next 2 weeks. It's not going to be a long series. It's just really piggybacking, came words right, on some of the things that we talked about in January. So you don't need to view January series to understand this one. Although if you want a little bit more context, feel free to go back to that one or keep watching and I'll explain a bit more. All right. So today's video is going to be relatively short compared to traditional Teachable Tuesday videos. Basically, what we're going to be talking about in this series is how you can start your process over and start brand new. Now, starting over, as I mentioned in my Reels video from a couple days ago, can be scary, but it doesn't have to be, right? When you think about starting over, that is hitting the reset button, right? It doesn't mean you delete your save file based on what you already have, because you can't change what has already occurred in life. You can't change the fact that certain things have already taken place. What you can change is how you go about moving forward. And sometimes to change how you go about moving forward, you have to hit the reset button based on where you're at currently. All right. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's just a matter of knowing where you're at in life and knowing how to effectively get further. Sometimes you don't have to hit the reset button. Sometimes you can just keep going and you can adjust as you see fit. Sometimes it is very necessary to hit that reset button in order for you to be in a better position in life, and so on and so forth, right? So there's going to be two big things that we're going to focus on in this series. Number one, we're going to be focusing on how you can hit the restart button and what does that look like. And number two, the pros and cons of hitting the restart button, right? There are benefits, but there are also cons as well. And typically, if the cons outweigh the benefits, you might not need to hit the restart button. You might just need to make some adjustments along the way so you can keep going. Because like I said, when you hit the reset button in life, it doesn't mean that you necessarily delete your save file or what's going on, but it does mean that you might backtrack on some of the progress that you've been made. Now sometimes you will have to backtrack, and it's for the betterment of you and how you see things. But there are also times where you don't necessarily have to hit the back button. You can just keep moving forward. All right. So today we're going to focus on the reset button and what does that look like in terms of you hitting it and why you might need to hit the reset button. Right. So let's focus on what is the reset button. The reset button is basically you starting over from a certain point in order for you to gain further access to where you need to go out in life, right? Hitting the reset button can be simple measures like starting the day over. The next day, maybe, Sunday wasn't a good day, so maybe your Monday will be better because you hit the reset button, right? Hitting the reset button could be taking a break, right? I'll use myself as an example. I just came off of spring break from, as being a teacher and also being in grad school. So me hitting that reset button was like using that week to do absolutely nothing. I didn't do any schoolwork. Probably should have. I didn't do any work, anything work related. That was my time to kind of take it back, relax, reflect, and just focus on what's going to be next by taking a bit of a break. So sometimes that reset button could simply be a break. Sometimes that reset button could be maybe you made a mistake somewhere and you need to backtrack a couple of steps to kind of correct your mistakes. Or if you can't correct your mistakes, at least, see where you messed up at so that way you don't mess up in the future, okay? Why do we need to hit the reset button? Sometimes we need to hit the reset button because we simply just need a different viewpoint, right? We need to go in a different direction. You notice you're going straight. Maybe the straight path is not working out the way you want it to, so maybe going left will work out a little better. But sometimes you may be so far gone that you might have to take a couple steps back in order for you to go to that right path. Now, some of y'all think this might be counterintuitive, but the fact of the matter is it's needed and it's necessary. And in life, you would much rather have to backtrack to go to the right direction than to keep going down the wrong direction, knowing that eventually you're going to have to go back anyways. It's something like I tell my students all the time in school. Like, sometimes they'll complain and they'll be like, man, mister, you mean to tell me I got to start over after all this work I did? And it's like, look, better for you to start over now, backtrack a couple of steps and fix the problem as opposed to you to keep going. And then that's more work that you have to do later on. So that's another reason why it's important to hit the reset button sometimes. And, you might wonder to yourself, what are the pros and cons of hitting the reset button? Well, we're going to get more into that next week. I'm not going to dive too deep into that, but there are most certainly pros and cons. And what I want you to do is, your homework assignment for this video, if you feel up to it, is tell me what do you think are some of the pros and cons of hitting the reset button. And we're going to talk more about that in the next video, okay? So I told you guys this video wasn't going to be too long. This is just the introduction, telling you the what's and whys of hitting the reset button. And one more thing I want to address. I almost forgot. Oh my Lord. How can hitting the reset button help your life? Well, there's a couple of things. Number one, it can help you rejuvenate, right? Like I mentioned, I just came off of spring break and it was very well needed. It was very relaxing. I had a lot of fun. And now I feel like I'm up to par and ready to go. I got a lot of stuff to do this afternoon by the time of this recording this video. And even after this, I still have a lot of stuff that I have to take care of. But I feel like I'm raring and ready to go. You know what I'm saying? Because I took that time to rest because I hit the reset button. Sometimes you may also need to hit the reset button just for the simple fact of to give you mental, physical, or emotional clarity. We get so caught up in life and we get so busy sometimes that we forget to take a break and really focus in on what's important, which is ourselves. So another way that hitting the reset button can help is it can give you that clarity. You know what I'm saying? And I say my last reason my last way in which how hitting the reset button can help is it allows you to see what's important versus what's not important. When you have so much clutter in your mind, your process of life starts to slow down. You know what I'm saying? It's like a computer. They say that you should be restarting your computer at least once a day. And the reason that's important is because the computer will start to slow down after some time because it's constantly collecting data. Even when you don't have a lot of tabs open, the data is still going, it's still going, it's still going. And that's how our life is. We're constantly collecting different things as we go throughout the process of life. And sometimes you just need to hit that reset button in order for you to get rid of things that you don't need. All right? So hope that helped you guys out and hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like I said, next week we're going to be talking about the pros and the cons. We kind of talked about a few pros today, but we're going to go into more detail as to specifically what those pros are and what are some cons to also hitting the reset button if you're not careful. All right? Again, this is Marcus Frazier from Teachable Tuesdays, here to motivate you, encourage you, and inspire you to be a better you. Hope you guys have a great day, and I will see you next time.